You are tuned in to What Up Baltimore online radio. Please note that the views and opinions expressed on this channel are of the host and not of Lady J Media. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, What Up Baltimore TV. And if you really don't want to miss any of the shows, hit that notification bell and you'll get a message every time we come on. Now, we got it from here, so sit back, relax, and stay tuned.
I know you do. I know you do, because that's what I do. I give you that kind of love that makes you come back. I'm your pusher, baby. I'm your pusher.
Why do you make you push a
Hey, little black boy, let me holler at you for a minute. I was once in your place, you should respect what I say. Some of the things I'm about to tell you just may save your life in the world right now, much is right. Little black boy, you're gonna see and experience all sorts of things, but don't let your mind be locked in the chains. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Spitfire Poetry Shutdown. I am your host, John Hansboro. Today is December 21st, 2022. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day, a wonderful evening so far. Happy holidays to everybody out there. Please be safe and vigilant in all that you do, in your shopping, and your driving, just anything that you do when you're outside the house. Please be safe out here, all right? This show is brought to you by Butterfly Entertainment. Go to ladyjmedia@gmail.com for all the ways to watch the shows on What Up Baltimore online radio. You want to follow us every week. We got different shows coming on every day, and at least 5 days a week, I'm sure, that you don't want to miss, all right? Also, my books are still available. Unusual Favor and Spitfire Poetry, Volume 1 and 2. This is one of my sister's books. Shout out to Jasmine the Problem. Tales of the Lost Soul and Redemption. That's a good book that she wrote. I like that. But Spitfire Poetry, Volume 1 and 2. And also you can get Unusual Favor on Amazon. All right. December 22nd, tomorrow. Check out my sister Shamice Jacobs at Sea Roses, 4000 Coolidge Avenue, for one more last time for the open mic at Sea Roses for the year. I'm sure she's doing that one for the end of the year. It's from 7 to 11, after party from 11 to 1. And then December 24th, Christmas Eve, last minute Eve, City Escapes Bar and Grill. My team, The Table, will be doing an event there at 2213 Kirk Avenue, City Escapes Bar and Grill. There'll be karaoke. They're gonna be doing a bunch of stuff. Shout out to my sister, the guest bartender there that night will be Aneski Anna Kanzet, all right, founder of 4 Authors. All right, everybody, listen. We got a good show for y'all tonight. I have a brother that I met on my own show, actually. He was commenting on one of the shows that I had. A very humble guy. I reached right out to him after he watched the show, and I would definitely wanted to get him on the show. And I was able to do that today at last minute. I asked him like a day or two ago, and he was like, he was all for it. So I went ahead and threw the fly up and everything as fast as I could because I wanted to get him on here. I want to introduce everybody to Vaughn Banks. You are Vaughn Banks. Vaughn, how you doing, bro?
Good evening. I'm good tonight. Still making. I'm glad to be on the show. Like you said, I saw I saw your work that you was doing. I was like, okay, I gotta, let me check this out. I've been working on a few things. I need to, as far as my poetry, where the movement that where I'm going with that. So I was like, this must be a sign. So let me log on. So I love the flow, everything that was going on. I actually came up with the name from it actually as well. I was like, everybody got names on here. This person's called this, such and such. This person is called such and such. I was like, okay, let me give myself a name. So I went from there with it. So I'm glad to be here on the show.
Absolutely. So what do you go by for your poetry name?
So as far as my poetry name, I came up with the idea, the concept. I'm called the minister. I'm recently just got ordained as a minister. So I was like, how can I mesh it well, or how can I blend it in with what I do with the poetry. When you think about minister, you think about speaking. The word has been put out. I'm definitely gonna bring that fire behind it. So I was like, let me just call it the minister. You know what I mean? So it blends well with what I already have going on. So I'm very big on whatever I do, even as far as business, even as far as, poetry, anything that I do is to put God first. I'm very heavy on it. You know what I mean? So, it's much needed. So that's how I came up with the idea, and, I'm gonna flow with it. Stay in
I
that flow.
love it, bro. I love it. I love it. Now, you know what? It's funny because last week when I had a guy on by the name of David Anderson,
Mhm.
and he is the prophet of poetry. That's his stage name, the prophet of poetry. Um, and this has been 2 weeks straight where I feel like there's some type of divine something going on right now, bro. You know what I
Really?
mean? From just you saying that title that you're the minister. When I started poetry, um, like my walk with Christ and God and everything played a big part in me writing my poetry in the beginning. It helped me to like come up with a bunch of different ideas. So this is going to be fun, man. I can't wait to see what you what you bring, because I know for a fact when you have faith in something and you trust in God and things of that nature, he does so many amazing things, bro. Like I started this in my laundry room writing poetry. I was in my laundry room like 3-4 years ago, and I had a vision for things, but none of this. You know what I mean? Definitely none of this. I had a vision for something that was much smaller. Um, but with prayer and faith and things of that nature, not giving up, you can do so much. So look, Vaughn, before we get started, how long have you been writing poetry?
So I've been writing poetry since I noticed I had the gift or the talent for to write poetry when I was maybe I was a youngin', like probably like maybe even 8, 9, 10, 11. Um, but like so many as for myself, so I had so many poems that I wrote. Like one of those suitcases that's on a movie for what's the name, In the Pursuit of Happiness, with Will Smith and
Mm-hmm.
and his son. So
Mm-hmm.
I literally had one of them old suitcases. I can't remember what I got them. I think maybe from when my grandmother. It was an old green suitcase, one that had like the metal buttons on and everything. It was a suitcase of poetry, but I had unfortunately, unfortunately, I had no one in like my corners per se to actually pushing me towards like to stay in the flow of something that I'm good at. I would write my pieces. Maybe I'll share with my with my some of my family, some of my brothers and my sisters. But no one for sure, like as far as parental wise, to say, okay, he's talented. Let me assert him here. Let me put him on some type of platform here, or let's go to this particular place. I don't know, what I mean. Just to pull out, of me, to pull out what I'm good at. You know what I mean. So
Mm-hmm.
I've been so this, and then I got to a point where Every now and then, it wasn't nothing that was on the front of my mind, the foresight of my mind to keep writing. Every now and then, I will write a piece. Um, and what really, really, I think it was maybe about a year. I want to say about a year ago. I was like, I was at a point where, okay, I think I think I was talking to this a particular young lady, and I was like, she kind of opened my mind to some things. So then I was like, let me tap into, she was working on some things. I was like, let me tap into what I know I'm good at. You know what I mean? I know I have a gift for. They say if you don't use what you're good at, you're gonna lose it. So that
Right.
particular day, it was this was in the summertime. I was like, let me get. I'm gonna go, down the street, up the street, go to the beach, and just get into some nature. You know what I mean? I want like the creativity that helps me.
Mhm.
Oftentimes, sometimes, just open that creativity up. Let me be in some nature. Let me see the greenery. Let me see the water. Let me get some, it's like a place of peace for me. A place of, my calm. So I was like, I took my, before actually, and it was leading up to that day. Prior to that, I was on my way to work. I said, let me stop at the Dollar General. So before I even, before that day even came, I was like, let me go in here. I already know. I said I had already told myself what I was gonna do. I wasn't real serious. If I was like, if I'm gonna be serious, let me get the old school black and white notebooks, the composition notebooks.
Right.
Went
Right.
and got, yeah, went and got two of those. So fast forward to that they went out there to be sitting around. So I had my I had my notebooks going. I was like, I'm gonna sit out here and write something. That particular piece. Hopefully, I get to share it again later, but not tonight though. But I kind of based it off of my experience with that, but not so much because I like to keep I like to stay open minded. I might have some energy or some inclination for what's going on or why I'm writing it, but I like to also keep it open so it can have like a positive connotation for everybody at the same time. And that particular piece was called Ebony, and it's a beautiful piece actually. It's very creative. So
All right, man. Well, without further ado, I'm anxious to hear what you got. So whenever you're ready, bro, you can spit whatever you want. On my show, this is all about art. So, well, you're a minister, so you're not going to be saying saying
yeah.
any foul language, I'm sure. But art is art on my show. So go for broke. Whatever you feel you want to get off your chest, go right ahead, bro.
All right. So in this particular this piece I have, you mind if I say a lead into why I was doing this particular piece?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
please. Absolutely.
So this particular piece, it came. I was asked to, I read some poetry before, beforehand. So I was asked at this show. It was called the what was this? It was for and basically MR Productions. They were doing a Christmas play, or not a Christmas play, but a Christmas show. And it was. I was like, okay. And I never been to. Actually, I never had even came to the concept of having Christmas at a Black Wax Museum. Okay. I was
Okay.
like, yeah, I was like, Christmas at the Black Wax Museum. Okay, what in the world? What kind of poetry am I gonna come up with? And then the audience is an open wide audience, so it's not just like one particular group of people. You got all black people. No, it was a mixed audience. So you got black people there, you got white people there. They're giving a tour of the Black Wax. You know how it is at the Black Wax
Mhm.
Museum. It's gonna people are speaking on the themes of what happened back then, but that's the history of it. So I was like, what can I bring to this table so that it'll fit everybody? So this is a little bit. This is what I came up with. Not a huge long piece, but it's definitely a piece where I like to give it where you can think of it as something that some is a positive piece, or I would say. So the name of the piece is called "Giving Life."
Okay.
So giving life, I close my eyes. I go on a journey, mind, spirit, heart, and soul, while my body remains still though. Whoa, this flow picks me up, carries me away. I'm on higher ground, no longer sinking, no longer to be found, no longer astray, no longer on Chronos, but in a new dimension, a level beyond the sky, beyond this melody of praise on the inside. I hear whisper, Kairos. I ask, what is this time? I hear, it's time. I open my eyes and I'm no longer bound, no longer chained. And a voice says, you've been delivered. You now abide in me and I in you. Yet again, giving me life. But not as I knew it, differentiated from that of freedom, something much deeper, more meaningful, more precious, liberty, giving me life. This time, eternally, with a peace unspeakable and a joy unexplainable, giving me life, giving me life. He gave me life. What kind
I
of love
like,
is this?
I like it, Von. What inspired that?
So, like I was saying, I was like, what kind of peace can I give to, something to fit everybody? Okay. And so it came. So I was like, okay, I want to talk about freedom, and I want to tell the people that it's not just about freedom. It's something that's more. When we step into having liberty, that's another another like dimension of freedom. That's a greater door than just freedom itself. You can be free to do something, but still also be oppressed, and not
Mm-hmm.
be able to walk in the liberty of that. Just to give a little, so I was thinking about it. Okay, so then I thought about also, how the movie Belly, right?
Mm-hmm.
At a certain point, you had the minister on there. You got DMX on there. I forgot his name, and it's a character name. But yeah, DMX, and it came, and and he, as for some reason, the minister had already knew that that it was coming. So I remember that part, from a child. I don't know why that movie stuck in my head for a while, for a long time. It's one of my best movies. But so he had already knew, for and when you talk about being connected with the source, okay, why wouldn't you know? You know what I mean? So it came to a point where DMX had came to the to the door. He was he was supposed to basically take out the minister. So I remember the minister saying, "It's time." So I said, okay, how can I take this and put it into the poem? How can and what I meant to do is I meant to talk about earlier. We so used to it, we get so caught up in on doing our own thing. Moving how we want to do it. That's why I said before. It's important to keep God first, because less is be. God has to build it. He has to be number one for it to last or to crumble. Okay, so we get so caught up into moving on our own time, doing what we want to do, how we want to do it. We not consulting, not seeking the Lord first. You know what I mean? So I was like, that's the chronological time. I'm gonna do it this time. I got plans to do it this way. I know just how I do it, and we will tell people, you better not mess it up. You better not mess up what I got going on. You better not try to, put a damper in what my plans are. My plans are my plans. How dare you come across and try to mess up what I got going on? Oh, you ain't got nothing to do. Oh, and, you gonna hate it. But I'm gonna still move on you. If I got, then you got some people that just they'll run into you. You know what I mean? Just to try to do their own thing. They try to step on one another just to try to get themselves up higher. So
Right.
I came to a conclusion. Okay, so that's the type of chronological time. So then I got into the dictionary. I said, I don't want to give any my little hints away how I do things, but I said, like, okay, so what's the opposite of that? So I said, okay. All right, so then you got God's time, and it's actually prophetic. Actually, it's called Kairos, and what Kairos is God's timing. It's not it's nothing of our time and how we do things. Is when He moves, and when He says move, what He says, that's what goes. There's no shortcuts around it. It's just yes, and as they say, yeah, it's just yes and amen. You know what I mean? It's get on board, or you catch up later, but just it's best to just get on board. So that's why I came up with the whole this is not my time. I'm on a whole and it was so it's like how I try to take you on a journey. It's not like, okay, where am I at? Because I'm not used to it. I'm used to doing this when I do it. Now I'm in a place where I'm beyond myself, almost like an out of body, I'm experienced. I'm now experiencing something that I've never even, experienced before. You know what I mean? I don't know if anybody ever had one of those experiences, but I definitely had one of those experiences in my lifetime. Well, like you're looking on, you're actually, it's almost what it's called. It's out of body experience. I'm looking at myself, and experiencing what I'm going through, and I'm watching myself at the same time. It was definitely an eye opener, something I would definitely always remember. I'm not actually. I would even go into the fact that I think I was in the middle of that was my first time ever, being able to speak in tongues and everything. So it's like I'm watching everything. It was like a slow motion of everything going on. I noticed myself looking back. Only something I saw the one lady. It's like I'm hearing myself and I'm looking at myself at the same time. It's I don't know. So when I thought about it, when that type of experience, when it happens, happens for you, you know what I mean? You get even if business, whatever you got going on, it's like, okay, it may be something that you've been trying to do over and over, and then like to no avail. It didn't, by your own hands, it wasn't, it didn't get conceived, it didn't get maybe like birthed out. But what God does, He does He does the impossible. Okay. So when things, how that, that feeling that you get, that rush of emotions, that rush of excitement, like, yes, these are on on track. What I mean. You get that positive connotation, like, yeah, I'm gonna do what I'm saying. I'm gonna stay on this flow. I'm gonna stay. You know what I mean. You get excited about it. When you get excited about it, you want to tell people about it. You know what I mean. You want to tell, hey man, I did this. And not only that, you want to help. Also, you want to also help pay it forward. You know what I mean. When you really get excited and really grateful for how things are really moving and how things are really picking up, and how you're able to see things come together. Okay, so and that whole experience right there, it's like it's life changing. So with that life changing, you know what I mean, you're not on your how you would normally move, you're on a whole different time scale of things, you know what I mean? It's literally, that's what it's doing, it's giving you life. You know what I mean? You're not only giving you life as in like rejuvenating you and rejuvenating your like your mindset, what you got going on, but it's also when you think of it like a tree or something. You actually, a tree doesn't start from a big tree. It starts from somewhere, you know what I mean? So you're able to it's a life process that goes on along with that. You're able to see your fruit. You know what I mean? The fruit that the work that you're putting in, you're able to see, it actually come into an existence. That's a whole, that's giving life right there. There's a, you know what I mean? How you feel about it, the mindset, how you feel about it, a free mindset, and the past free mindset, you're able to, you're able to walk in liberty in what you do. You know what I mean? And like I said, give God praise, in all things. You know what I mean? So that's how I came up with the from that piece right there. And then when I get to the point where it was like, I'm no longer straight. It's like, look, this person was in somewhere where like maybe he was searching, he was looking and like to no avail. We had them things where we tried it this way, okay, it's not working. You know what I mean? So we tried again. We try to shake some things up. You know what I mean? Move some things. It ain't working. I'm searching out here. I'm hungry out here. I want this to happen. It gotta take place. You know what I mean? It's a doggy dog. What they say? It's a doggy dog world.
Doggy dog world.
Yeah,
right.
It's sharks out here and everything. I'm going. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do this. I'm looking for a way. And then I get to a point where if you get to a point where you lost, it's like, dang, my back is up against the wall. What do I do?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
What I mean?
When did I didn't mean to cut you off, Vaughn, but when did you realize or feel that poetry, even with ministry, like with it combined, when did you feel like, and do you feel like that is your purpose?
Yes, as far as I believe, I'm gonna say it like this. I believe that what your purpose is attached to whatever what your gifts are, what your gifts or what your talents are. Okay,
Right.
It's attached to your purpose. You know what I mean? So if I gotta I write poetry, you know what I mean? And why I write poetry is, to give I might take you through a rough time, a rough space, but at the end of it, you'll be like, oh, you'll be like, okay, this is a way I can do this. You know what I mean? It's going to be something positive, not just going to be something dark. So I take that a part of, just like with as far as ministry, you know what I mean? I can't, I'm going to give you the word, you know what I mean? That I'm charged. That's what I have to do. I can't change it up. So I'm gonna give you, but I'm also be that brother that be like, okay, I was here. You know what I mean? You know, I've been here. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, I experienced this. I may not have experienced it the way you experienced it, or I may not have been, you know, through some places, or you know, we might not even share the same most, you know, the same stomping ground. We might even be from, you know, two different sides of the track. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. So you know, so but I can give you that experience, and that my experience is what I'm. That's my testament right there. You know what I mean? That's how I overcame. Okay, so with me giving you my testament, my experience of how and what or insight, you know, of what or wisdom of what I or how I did it, I'm gonna give it to you, right? But in the tensions of now you have to you still have to figure out how you know what it is that you're gonna do for you. You got to find out what works for you. You know what I mean? In the same process, I'm not going to tell you do this, do A, and do B. I'm gonna give you the foundation of it. I'm gonna give you the front principles of it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give you my experience from my testimony from it. But you, at the end of the day, you still gotta figure that thing out. You know what I mean? You still got how you gonna, you know, how you gonna walk that thing out. You know what I mean? You still gotta figure out how you're gonna even talk it out. You know what I mean? And plan and do everything. So I combine that with my purpose. My purpose, you know, out here, and you know, it's for the people. You know, it's not just for the shit. You know, for myself. You know what I mean? It's not just for, you know, it's not. You should be able to be at that light to somebody, you know, to everybody. You know what I mean? No matter what, you know where they at, no matter what creed they are, you know what kind of race they are, you know what, you know what religion, what color, you know, none of that matters. You know what I mean? People are people, and we all out here trying to get it together. You know what I mean? We all out here pushing forward towards a purpose or something much, you know, much on a grand scale of things, much larger than ourselves. So you know, so it's basically like I'm saying when I do it, as far as my purpose, look, you're not out here by yourself. You know what I mean? This has happened. There's nothing new. You know what I mean? Under the sun at all.
That's right.
You
Where does your drive and your passion come from, bro? You very passionate, and I understand because I'm the same way. You know what I mean? I can be very passionate, especially about something that I love to do, something that makes me feel good. And poetry is what I love. You know what I mean? I found it. I say it all the time. I found it in a time in my life where I was broke as a grown man, you know, with a wife and two children, a home, things of that nature. And I started going to church and things like that because I was searching for something. And I was getting something there, but it was still something that just wasn't there. And that's when poetry just fell in my lap. You know what I mean? That was a gift that I always had. I never really used it like that. You know, when I was younger, in my first and second grade, writing little notes to girls and stuff like that. Other than that, not, you know, I wasn't trying to be a rapper, none of that. But when I was in a time of turmoil where things was just out of whack, nothing looked familiar to me, my house was in disarray, you feel me? That's when poetry came to me, and I was able to express myself in a way that made me feel good after I shared what I shared. You understand? So your passion and your drive for this, where does it come from? Where was it birthed from?
Let me say, I'll tell you this, like, you know, we all have a story, you know what I mean? We all, you know, we all been through something. As far as my passion, my drive, and my motivation, I would say it's I don't know, it's something embedded in me. Maybe it's something, you know, in my experiences, you know, in my life or through my lifetime. And I always been that person where, you know, I'm the oldest, you know, as far as on my dad's side, I'm the oldest, you know. So I would have to oftentimes make sure everything was good at home. My mom was out there. She's working and everything. So it became a habit for me. And then even the type of environment that I was, it was like at a certain point, I don't know about anybody else, but I was one of the kids that had to get the hand-me-downs all the time. You know what I mean? The hand-me-downs. You know what I mean? It was nothing. So, but and then I would look at I would look at my brothers and my sisters. I was like, okay, they getting, this and that. So from a young age, I was at 12 years old. Like, my first job was at 12, and my first job was, let me tell you, I was working at the candy lady.
And where?
I was doing the candy lady. I was, helping her. She was, they was an older couple. They had the candy, the candy lady had the freeze cutter. She had the biscuits, the crackers.
Right.
She had a little bit of everything. It was good.
Right.
I think do my little help them around the house, clean up a little bit, help, whatever they need to help assisting with. So I got to a point where I saved money, you know what I mean? So I had to, when I was saving money, I would use that money to, I had to get my shoes for school. I had to get me some clothes for school, you know what I mean? I had an older brother, I had an older brother. He worked he was at a store. This particular older brother, he was at a store. Worked at a shoe store. I was like, okay, my first pair of shoes I was rocking the Adidas, the ones with the shells, the key shells. So from there it pushed me to to always I was to have a job, I wasn't perfect, sometimes I would go out there, if I needed to get it, I'm gonna get it. No, it was not right. So but it pushed me to have, okay, I was one of the ones, I'm gonna have something consistent, I'm gonna have some type of money flow coming in. Okay, I wasn't buck wild with it, so that kind of that gave me my fire, my drive, and motivation. Because like, who's gonna be out here to take care of you? You know what I mean? You gotta take care of you. You know what I mean? You gotta do what you gotta do as a man. You gotta do, you know what I mean? So you gotta, how you gonna live? You feel me? I wasn't one of the ones, and I'm still today. I'm not one of the ones be out and I said humbly, you know what I mean? We all need somebody at one point in time, but it's really hard for me to be like, yo, can I get this? Can I borrow this? No, you know what I mean? It's something gotta be real tough to be going on, and it gotta be, and not give it. Let me hold it, and then I'm gonna really get it back to you, because I want you to know that I appreciate it. And one, if it ever have a chance to come up again, then you know what I mean. My credit is good, okay. My credit is good, but yeah. So it gave me. So that's all. That's all building. I say that to say that's all was all building up my motivation, and it was giving me drive. Just even the different situations that I had to go through, even when I came to a point where I had a son. I lost my son had died as a at 8 months. So that really played a big part in my as far as my thought process and everything. At 16, I was like, wow, you know what I mean? That was it took me a minute to process that, and to heal from that. You know what I mean? So
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
I appreciate it, but I tell everybody that that's the first response, which is what I mean. But I'm glad I am at a place of at my healing process where I can say I'm at peace. Basically, I say I'm at peace with it. You know what I mean? So that's adding more fire. You know what I mean, to my drive. That's driving. You may not think like how is that adding more fire to your motivation? How is that giving you more?
No, I get it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's part of your purpose right there. Purpose is passion plus, you know what I mean? So
how much does your ministry play a part in your poetry? Like, are you a minister of a church? Do you have a church?
Yes, I'm a minister at my church is called the Global Center of Jesus Christ Church and Ministries. I have, great. Actually, you know what to say? I'm glad you brought that up too. Is that I have a great leadership, and so my senior pastor is Marlon Russell Senior. Okay, and then my pastor, I have two pastors, the sibling pastors. Okay, so she's actually her name is that's my pastor, Pastor Lily, or Pastor Shalivia. We call her Pastor Lily. So she's actually into the arts. Okay, so some of my poetry pieces she actually helped me tune into, okay, what I also as well played a part in that too. Okay, a drive into, let me write some poems. She actually I had shared one of my pieces on Facebook, and she's just on the kind, she's in right on that. She's with the she really she really did. She's in right on that, and home there on real tight on that. And I'm glad she did. She's into the into the arts, as far as we are talented, and she's like and we're like diverse in our talents when it comes to the arts. You know what I mean? Just even not just poetry arts, but all the arts, like dancing, music, acting. She does acting. So, and I just recently tapped into that a little bit to play a supporting role with that. So so yeah. And your question is as far as how does it play a effect with like as far as ministry?
Mhm.
You said how does it play a part in my ministry? So I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. How does it coincide with each other?
let me see. Well, when I'm out to well, I would say this. Before I write now, what I learned to do, I pray before I even
Mhm.
before
Before
I
you
even
write.
write. Yeah, before I write, I pray. I gotta pray before I write because I want to. And I want because I really accepted or adopted the idea that it's not just about me. It's gonna be somebody who's gonna hear what I have to say, whether it's on a ministry level or whether I'm spitting poetry. It's gonna what I mean. Words are powerful. You know what I mean. And as the word say that, and it's as a proverb actually say, life and death lies in the power, in the power of your tongue. You know what I mean? You can speak, either speak life to yourself, or you can either can speak death to yourself. And not just for yourself, even over other people. You know what I mean? So it's important to stay prayed up. So that's how I coincide with my pieces. I say, okay, I may be, I'm like, I may be thinking of like, okay, as long as I pray first, I know it's gonna come together. I don't know how it's gonna all come together, but I know it comes together. It to the point where it amazes me, how it comes together. Um,
Absolutely.
you
Absolutely.
know, so
I
I
know
and
that people want to hear you do another poem though too. When you get it, whenever you're ready, man. Let's spit something else before we run out of time, and I'll let you talk a little bit more.
Okay, so this next piece, I'm just gonna jump right into it actually for this piece right here. All right, so and you'll know that I let you know what the title is, and you'll figure it out at the end of it. I hope I mean, and it is called, but I'm jumping right on into it. Um, I was in the middle of it. I mean, the thick of it, the center of the problem, the middle of building it. Where was I going to go? Boxed in, four walls, seemingly, and no exit strategy. I mean, I know the analogy. There's always a purpose, rhyme, and a reason, no matter the season. But where in all this hell was it leading me? Then here comes the enemy with all his legions of demons of pride, fear, doubt, jealousy, and envy. Then boom, head against the wall, I scream F word. But what did it do? Did it calibrate something within me? Did it push me to search my energy? Whatever it was, it needed to let loose in me. It had me choked up, heat on, and pressure up. Procrastination is a killer, B.
Hmm.
Oh, here I go. I feel myself slipping. Something on the inside of in me echoes F word. It's my tongue and the power it holds. I think I see the light shining on my vision with instructions telling me to fight. God knows I needed that charity because where I'm from and my destination ahead of me, instructions are plenty and clarity is a rarity. So I did what any wise man would do. I pushed on, went on, bending knees before the Almighty Lord and became strong because I understood all the flame of the fire was only fortifying me to complete tasks on my mission despite inhibitions, setbacks, and plots of the enemy. So upward, I welcome you to sustain my effort and energy to reach my goals. F is for focus, and this is called F word.
I love it. I love it, bro. Tell the people how they can follow you and keep up with you, Vaughn.
Right now, you can follow me I'm on Facebook as Von Bates. I'm on IG as King Von Royalty 83. I have not set any other platforms on up just yet, but I'm working on it. What direction I'm going to move into as far as that. But you can definitely find me on Facebook, Von Banks.
Man, keep doing what you're doing, Vaughn. I feel like your testimony and your story can help a lot of young people, bro. What would you say to that young man that's out there who, he know that he has a talent, but he just he's in an environment and a situation that doesn't have a good outlook. Um, he doesn't see a way out. You know what I mean? What would you say to that young man to keep him focused and and steadfast on any goals that he's trying to set in his life?
Well, I would tell that young man is to first be still. Okay, you have to be still and find out, and what is causing you. First of all, not only be still, but also to check the environment that that we sometimes you might find yourself in. Sometimes the environment itself is toxic. Sometimes you cannot help the environment that you're in, but you can definitely find a quiet place. You can even if you got to go to the library, or even you got to go to park, find that actually time to really to invest in you. Looking inside of you that you got some thoughts. Make sure you have a thought process, have a game plan, how you're gonna figure things out. Just and not to be overwhelmed. That's why I say to be still, and basically so you can come into a spot where a place of peace within you. You know what I mean? If you're not in place with if you don't have, at a place where you have peace within yourself, you're not gonna give out. You're not gonna radiate out from you peace. So you have to actually have peace within yourself. You have to have your mindset has to be clear. Change. I would tell that young man to change up your build change up your mindset. Don't be so caught up into what everybody else is got going on. Okay. Yes, is it easy to do? I would tell that young man, look, and I was thinking about this the other day. It's easy, and people may say, this is the way out. This is people's doing this. Is how I have to provide. This is what I have to do for my family. It's easier to do what is the wrong thing.
Right.
It's more tough. You show more. And I can say this as an older, but I can was a little bit older. You know what I mean? Now, but I can say that is the hard part is to try to figure out, to stay on course, to not only stay on course, but to also get on course. You know what I mean? I would tell them to find what is it that you're good at. What is your gift? You know what I mean? What do you like to do? Find positive ways to do that. If you have to get a mentor. You know what I mean? And I will also say, you have to and find yourself praying. I'm not big on. This is myself. I'm not big on because it's not about religion with me. It's not, some people. It's not about religion. You have to seek God no matter what. I tell people this all the time. You have to seek God, for yourself. You have to, no matter what religion you is. Yes, I am, but I am big on salvation though. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? I can tell a Muslim right now, look, I can tell anybody, any religion, like, you know what I mean? Look, be what you be, but keep God first and accept salvation. Okay, so that's what I would tell that young man. I would tell that young man to be encouraged. Okay, you have to find that when I say be encouraged, you have to take that negative situation and be able to find out what is the positive of the situation? What is this situation maybe that I even placed myself in? Why did I place? You have to ask yourself these whys. You know what I mean? Or, even when it comes to how you may feel. Why am I feeling this way? Okay. Why what can I do differently that I won't find myself in this situation? I understand, I would tell that young man, you cannot, it's impossible to keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So
exactly.
what is your game? You have to have a game plan. No, it's not going to be perfect. Yes. You're going to try, and over a couple of times, you know what I mean? A lot of times, actually, sometimes before you get it right, but while you're trying to get it right, and then every time you're in the process, you're staying in a positive, you're keeping your mindset, it's positivity that's going on. You're being positive about it. You may not succeed at first, what you did, but you're still in that positive mindset to keep pushing forward. So I would tell that young man to stay in the press, never give up. People gonna talk, and I'm gonna tell them like this: that you gotta have that thick skin, okay? People gonna talk on you. People gonna throw dirt on your name, but don't get caught up in that drama. Get caught up into the plan that God has for your life. Get caught up into what you're good at, what you're good at. What you're driving, what your basically what your end game is. Get caught up into that. You know what I mean? And it's basically stay in the press, do what you do, and be you. Don't be nobody else about here. Be yourself. You know what I mean? If God, I'm really firm. I was just thinking about this the other day too. People, even certain leadership made, people this order, people who went before us, they want you to do it their way.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you can't get caught in that. You can now. I would say, and I would tell the young man too to be wise. You know, and get the insight of how, like again, like I was saying earlier, get the insight. But you still gotta get caught up to how you supposed to present the things and how you supposed to do what it is that you do. Don't get caught up into trying to be anybody else. You know what I mean? If it was so. You know what I mean? I for sure don't want a bunch of Vaughn. Even when I look at myself, I don't want a bunch of Reese walking. Running around here. No, you identify with who you are, and who who you belong to, and keep that moving. And just stay and be consistent in it, and be steadfast in what you're doing. Don't waver in it. Stand strong in what you have to do. Keep the courage. That's part of keep that heart. And that's what you have to have that heart. You know what I mean? That's what I wanted to say earlier too when you asked me that question. What gives me my passion? And so I love the heart that I have. You know what I mean? That passion. Always keep your passion about. Don't let nobody try to dim your light. You are the light. And don't forget, you gotta talk that good talk to yourself. Just the same way we try to bring it up to try to holler at our next. Why should I say? Or you know what I mean? Talk that good talk to yourself. You know what I mean?
Right.
Encourage yourself. Tell yourself, do those affirmations. Those affirmations definitely help big time. And that's how that's what I would tell that young man. Stay focused. Stay focused.
Absolutely. Vaughn, it's been a pleasure to have you on, brother. I got to have you back on the show, man. It's been a great conversation. Start that ministry up, man. You a walking ministry and minister yourself, bro. You know what I mean? So, and I feel as though we got to try any and every way to try to reach some of these young people because, with all due respect, some of this old tradition stuff is just not. It's nothing wrong with change. Put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it. So we could try to get more people to come in, especially these kids, to get their mindset different and get them thinking different. So I appreciate you for coming on, y'all. Please follow this brother on Instagram and Facebook. Look out for any material that he is about to drop. You heard it here first from the minister. This guy is a wonderful poet, spoken word artist. Vaughn, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for coming on. I will stay in contact with you, and you be safe and steadfast out here, bro.
Most definitely. I appreciate this opportunity to use this platform as well. You stay safe as well. Y'all be encouraged as well. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely, bro. I'll definitely have you on again. Everybody watching out there, thank y'all. I love you. If you want to be blessed, you have to bless somebody else. All right. Stay tuned for Empathetic Chad show coming right up. Y'all have a wonderful holiday. Be safe. I'll see you soon, Vaughn.
All right now.
Just wanted to let you know that the host of this show appreciates the time that you've spent with them. Now, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel so you can keep up with everything that we're doing. And most of all, thank you for tuning in to What Up Baltimore online radio, where the people have the power.